According to the MADD.org, almost every 90 seconds, a person is injured or killed in a DUI incident in the United States. Have you or someone you know ever been affected by drunk driving? Or perhaps you have committed the offense of driving while under the influence of alcohol? Through my research, I have found that not only does driving under the influence of alcohol cost the United States roughly $132 billion a year, but also claims roughly 28 lives every day in the United States. Today I'm going to present some facts about some of the consequences of driving under the influence, as well as make you think twice about getting into a vehicle after you have consumed alcohol. I will cover some of the financial burdens, the legal consequences, and some of the solutions that we as a society can implement to try to mitigate driving under the influence of alcohol. Now, as I stated before, roughly every 90 seconds there is a DUI incident that occurs in the United States where someone is either killed or injured. As a result, driving under the influence claims roughly 28 lives per day. Now, many times these illegal drugs are mixed with alcohol to create an even higher hostile environment. According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, roughly half of victims who have crashed and tested positive for alcohol also tested positive for some form of illegal drug. Not only is driving under the influence of alcohol deadly, but it also carries financial consequences for the offender. Now, according to MSN.com, the average first offender DUI will cost them anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000. Now, this will start obviously with your bail costs once you've been arrested, which could range anywhere from $150 to $250. However, this is going to be the least of your worries, because your vehicle is inevitably going to be towed, and this could range from anywhere to $500 to $1,200. You'll then have to hire an attorney to plead your case out, which would cost as much as $5,000. Additionally, you'll have to pay court fines ranging from anywhere from $300 to $1,200, as well as mandated alcohol education and treatment, which could cost anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000. Now, before you decide to turn the key in your car after you've been drinking, not only will it cost you upwards of $10,000 to $15,000, but also consider the simple fact that you potentially run the risk of causing serious bodily injury to yourself and innocent bystanders. Now, I have a real-life example of one of my friends, and this incident happened in July of 2011. One of my friends, Chad, he was one of my high school friends. He was coming home from a party. Now, obviously, he had been drinking that night, and I believe everyone at the party had been drinking as well. And they didn't use the buddy system of making sure that he was all right to drive. Now, he got into his vehicle, and he was traveling at roughly 50 miles per hour and hit a telephone pole. When he hit the telephone pole, his body was thrown through the window, and he hit the telephone pole head first. Chad had to be airlifted to the hospital, unfortunately, and was in a coma for roughly 3 weeks. The medical staff didn't actually think that he was going to make it through the coma and he wouldn't survive. But fortunately for Chad, he has made a full recovery and is walking around today. So to say the least, Chad's learned his lesson, but it could have been a deadly lesson for him. Now, I can talk about all these facts and consequences of driving under the influence until I'm blue in the face. However, it's not going to do any of us any good if we don't come up with a solution to deter us and other people from driving under the influence. So anyone who has gone out and consumed alcohol should know to designate a sober driver or find another means to get home safely. However, this does not always happen, as people's judgment is off when they have been consuming alcohol. Now, I would propose a law that would mandate privately owned bars to designate a doorman to watch for people who are too intoxicated getting to their vehicles. Now, this doorman could look for one of their friends to help them drive that are sober to drive them home, or possibly call a cab to have that individual taken home. So, I really feel like this would be similar to something like the doormen do now. They check IDs for underage people that are coming in, as well as the bartenders will not serve people who are too intoxicated. And I've even seen a doorman go as far as not letting people into the bars because they're too intoxicated. So I feel like something like this would be pretty realistic, and we could implement that into a law for the bars. And also, I believe another strong deterrence for driving under the influence could be thorough, stricter laws nationally. So, for example, a first-time felony for anyone who drives under the influence. I know in Illinois, they mandated that it's a first-time offense will be a felony. And I don't know about you, but I personally wouldn't want to be a convicted felon for something as stupid as getting into a vehicle under the influence. I feel like if people knew that they were going to possibly run the risk of getting a felony, this may deter them from getting in the vehicle. Now, these are just a few ideas that I came up with to mitigate the amount of people who would drink under the influence. However, as a society, we need to be more responsible and offer an open hand to prevent these senseless tragedies caused by driving under the influence. So just like a buddy system kind of thing, watch out for everyone and ensure that everyone is all right to get into the car and drive. If not, then help them to find a alternative means home. So as you can see, driving under influence can not only affect yourself, but your loved ones around you. So as you can see, this will carry a financial burden and legal troubles, but most importantly, it can affect someone for the rest of their life. So by all means, I encourage all of you to have fun and go out. However, I also encourage you to do the responsible thing and designate a sober driver or find an alternative way home.